Hello and welcome to the Deacon. So I'm not wearing my hat today because earlier on this afternoon we went down on the bridge and we were feeding and a bird flew over my head and decided to take a dump on top of me. And I choose not to read too much into that and just wash my hat and carry on. But what I really wanted to share with you today is an email that I got from a cool guy in Denmark. He wrote me that he's always been thinking that he was going to turn out to be a big businessman, start a company, earn a lot of money and that kind of stuff. But recently realized that he's never included God in those plans. And when reflecting on these things, he also realized that it's whenever that he keeps bumping into people who are on the street and stuff, who are alcoholics, addicts, the people who don't really fit into society. And when he spends time with these people, he feels that this makes sense. You know that feeling where you just feel that, okay, this does make sense, I'm in the right spot now, this was time well spent. And he also said that he's decided to become a deacon now, to study more of the scriptures of God and who he is and pursue these things, and start on the deacon school in Aarhus, Denmark, where I also went. So of course that made me very happy to hear. So keep it up. And maybe you are in a situation now where you're thinking, okay, what's the purpose of my life? What is God's calling upon me? Maybe you sit back and think, okay, God gave me a vision, gave me a dream, gave me something so I know exactly what to do. But the interesting thing with God's calling over our lives is that the main thing He calls us to is to step out in faith, to believe in Him, to dream big, so big that you cannot do it by yourself and have to have His help. To include Him in the small and the big. And you know, you can't really steer a car unless you're driving. And if you're just sitting back and waiting for God to steer you, it usually doesn't work that way. But if you live your life and you seek Him, you pray, communication, and you in the meeting with people and work and school and different things, try to seek God in when do I feel that this is right. I hope this makes sense, because when you're walking and taking steps and see, okay, is this the path I'm going, that God can steer you, and the Holy Spirit can lead you. There is in the Bible, God actually talks about what plans He has for you. And I want to share that. It's from Jeremiah chapter 29, where the prophet Jeremiah, God gives him some words to pass on to the king and the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem while they're in exile. And it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." And this is so cool. Then it continues right in verse 12. "Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me. When you seek me with all your heart, I will be found by you, declares the Lord. And I will bring you back from captivity." It's, just read the whole chapter. Jeremiah 29, it's really cool. So the plans to prosper, not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. And of course it doesn't say, do you need to be a deacon or a businessman? What's the plans for you? But it says that God has plans for you And if you just sit back, you might not even notice and see the opportunities and the doors God is open for you. So just an encouragement to get out there and see how God can use you, where instead of taking energy, He'll actually give you energy. And when a work and a job gives you energy, you're probably in the right place. All right. I wish you the joy of the Lord to be your strength today. Have a great one.